If you're like me and one of your favorite hobbies is makeup, chances are you've probably been in a makeup rut before. If so, this video is for you. I definitely have had many makeup ruts in my life. I would say over the last couple of weeks, I've been in like a little teeny tiny makeup rut. I'm feeling like I'm getting out of it now, but I wanted to share some tips and tricks on how you can pull yourself out of a makeup rut if you find yourself in one. I hope that at least one of these tips or tricks can help you guys throughout your makeup rut. Overall, just remember not to put too much pressure on yourself. After all, it is just makeup. It is just a hobby. It will likely come back to you if you find yourself kind of out of love with it for a while. Our lives are ever changing, so it definitely makes sense that our interests and our hobbies would ebb and flow as well. The first piece of advice that I would want to share as far as getting out of a makeup rut would be to not purchase makeup to try and get yourself out of a makeup rut. So if you're feeling like you're kind of bored with your collection, you're feeling like, oh, I don't feel inspired by anything, odds are that going to the store and purchasing more makeup products is not going to fix that. So that might send you down a bad rabbit hole of spending too much money on makeup. There's a strong chance you're going to regret purchasing at least one, if not all, of the new products that you purchased to try to get yourself out of the makeup rut. You might be thinking, how am I supposed to get out of this makeup rut if I can't go buy something new to focus on? The next 10 tips are going to tell you how to do that. My next tip is to take a step back, take a break. If you're feeling overwhelmed or annoyed or just bored of your makeup, take a step back, take a couple days off wearing makeup, maybe focus on your skincare, focus on a new hairstyle, focus on something else that you enjoy, probably in that same realm of getting ready or getting unready or something like that. Sometimes I think I get so caught up in doing my makeup routine that I tend to forget to do a hairstyle. 9 times out of 10, my hair ends up in a ponytail or a bun by the end of the day. So if I'm in a makeup rut, I could stop, take a pause from makeup, and then maybe try a new hairstyle. After I try a couple hairstyles, I might realize how much I miss makeup, and then I want to get back into it, hence helping the makeup rut. So taking a step back sometimes is all you need. Quite the opposite of buying new makeup, my next tip is to declutter your makeup, but don't actually get rid of it yet. What I would do instead is to declutter your makeup into a chopping block. So go through your makeup collection, really be cutthroat with it. You're not actually getting rid of any of these, so it's gonna be okay if you kind of regret it later because it's gonna be tucked away and you can just pull it back out. But go through your whole makeup collection and just look at stuff and pull at it. Say, oh, I don't like this, I'm sick of this, I'm so bored of that. Pull all of those products and put them in a bin. Put them all together. Consider this your chopping block. For now, set it aside. Tuck it away, slide it under the bed, put it in a cabinet, put it somewhere that is out of mind. Then look at your makeup collection. Hopefully by now you still have some products left. Hopefully you didn't declutter the whole thing. Hopefully you still have some products left over that you still feel excited about. That's your new makeup collection. As you start to use it, it might ignite that passion for makeup again, but you might find yourself missing some of those products that you decluttered. Go grab them then. They're just tucked away, you know where they are. You don't have to rebuy them, it's not gonna cost you any money. But putting out the products from your mind that aren't bringing you any joy right now might just be what you need to pull you out of that slump. When you start to miss them, just get them back out again. If there's some that after months and months you don't miss, but you're out of the makeup rut, then you might actually want to declutter those products and give them away to a friend, recycle them, donate them, however you want to take care of that. But I would encourage you to hold on to the products until you're out of the makeup rut. You don't want to get rid of the makeup and then really regret that you got rid of it, forcing you to go buy new makeup. That's going to set a very unhealthy pattern. I think just setting it aside will be sufficient. My next tip is to try a palette bingo. So look through your eyeshadow palettes and pick one that you either haven't used in a while or pick one that just brings you some sort of joy. When I open up the drawer that I have my eyeshadow palettes in, it's usually the happiest I am when I look at my collection because eyeshadow is my favorite of all the makeup categories, I would say. So looking at all of those tends to bring me more joy than some other categories in my makeup collection, like foundations or something. I do like foundations, but not as much as eyeshadow. So open up your eyeshadow drawer, open up wherever you've got your palettes, and just pick the one that's calling to you. If you don't have one that's calling to you, pick one of your oldest ones. Pick one of your old favorites that you haven't reached for in a while, and then do a palette bingo. If you're not familiar with palette bingos, you just kind of pick 5 or so shades at random, and then you have to use those shades to create a look. I've got a palette bingo playlist that I'll link below for you guys. I've got several videos where I've done palette bingos, and those might also give you some inspiration. Similar to the palette bingos, you could try to do a random get ready with me. Again, this is a series I have on my channel. I'll be glad to link it for you down below if you want to check it out. I essentially have a jar, I'll show you. I have a jar where I've put random makeup topics. So for instance, I'll show you now. I would just pull out a random paper from the jar, open it up, and see what it says. So this one says, no foundations, inspired by Jessica. So my friend Jessica does a lot of makeup tutorials. She doesn't have a channel anymore, she's just on Instagram. But I used to watch all of her YouTube videos, and she actually didn't even own a foundation for a while. I think she just had like the Merit stick that she would use as concealer. So this was something that I thought would be fun to try out. And then another example is bold brows. So I just got some various different topics in here. If you guys want to see some of the other ones that I've already filmed, of course, I will link that below for you guys. But if I'm in a makeup rut, this is a very quick way to pull me out of it because it gives you something to try. It gives you a very specific technique, style, or product to use that you don't have to think about. And you can just create the topics. Create them at random, just the most random things you can think of. You can use my videos for inspiration if you want to use some of the topics that I've filmed videos on, and that might help you out if you're thinking about what topics to use. But if you're in a makeup rut, just pulling something at random can really pull you out of that sometimes. For my 6th tip, I would encourage you guys to go online, look for some inspiration, and then try to recreate that look. So I like to go on Instagram. Sometimes I'll go on Pinterest and look up like green eye makeup looks or pale skin makeup looks. Something that when I'm looking at the looks, I can almost see it on myself. You could pick a makeup look to go with blonde hair or brown hair, or pick an attribute that you have and search that type of makeup look on Pinterest, or scroll one of your favorite people's Instagram pages who has just the prettiest looks you've ever seen. For this, I really like to look at makeup artists. I love Natasha Denona's looks. I like Katie Jane Hughes's looks. And I also really like Allie Glines' looks here on YouTube. I've recreated a lot of Allie's looks in the past to help me get out of makeup ruts. I find her looks are so inspiring to me. I just really like the style of makeup that she does. It's very ethereal, it's very beautiful, very sparkly and glitzy, which I love. So I really like to follow her makeup tutorials. So I think something like that sometimes can be very helpful. But sometimes I think what can be even more helpful, and this is my next tip, is to look back at your older looks. I'm sure if you guys have ever done a makeup look where you're like, oh, I love this makeup look, chances are you took a selfie. You took a picture of your look so you can remember it later, so you could send it to your friends, you could post it on Instagram, wherever you put the picture, but chances are you took the picture. Go back to those pictures. Sometimes I will go back to my old reels. I used to do these fun reels where they were transition based, and I would do this all-out makeup look, and I think, wow, I really miss doing that. That will kind of pull me into wanting to do that again, and I'm seeing it on my own face, so I know that I liked it. I remember how I felt in that look, and so recreating that look can pull me out of that rut. My 8th tip is similar to the random get ready with me, but this one's a little bit less random. This is something that you're just choosing to do, not necessarily pulling it out of a jar, but think about a theme of something that you want to do. So for example, do a full face of your most affordable makeup or your most luxury makeup. Choose the products that have your favorite packaging. Choose products that have all pink packaging, or choose products that you haven't used in a while. Pulling things from a similar category like that can take the guesswork out of actually choosing the products. So if you're choosing your oldest products, there's only one lipstick that could be the oldest, you know, so it makes it a little bit easier to pick the products. And then once you've picked them, you might see that you've never created a look using all of those together, and then you might be curious to see what it would look like. So it's going to hopefully encourage you to actually create a makeup look, which is the whole point of getting out of the rut. I've got 3 more tips for you. So the next one is to try a makeup look that's out of your comfort zone. In the last few tips, I've been telling you to pick categories or themes or something like that. This one is to really push you out of your comfort zone. So for me, that could look like a bold lip or a super bold blush. I don't typically feel confident in like a super bold, like hot pink blush. There are some makeup looks online where you paint your entire face, or you do just like a lot more dramatic makeup than I've ever done. And that would be extremely out of my comfort zone. That's something I want to challenge myself to do. And it's something that it might not turn out okay on the first try, but it could be fun just to try something new. So if you're someone that never wears a winged liner, maybe try out a winged liner. Try out a graphic liner where you're kind of like doing a swoop or something with the eyeliner. Sometimes eyeliner can be frustrating because it can be so tedious. So that's not, you know, there are other examples. You could think of things like using your bronzer as a blush. If you've always used a pink on your cheeks, try using a more brown tone on your cheeks and putting it all over the face. Use a bold lip. Use an orange eyeshadow if you never use an orange eyeshadow. Whatever's out of your comfort zone for you, try that out. Also, it doesn't have to be more. If you always wear a full face of makeup, but you're kind of sick of wearing a full face of makeup, try to wear just a couple of products. Try a skin tint, or if you don't own a skin tint, don't go buy one. Mix together your moisturizer and a foundation, or just kind of spot conceal and blend that out over a nice moisturized base. It'll give you the same sort of effect, but just trying something different and something that you've not really been comfortable with in the past can push you out of that comfort zone. You don't have to wear it out of the house if you don't feel comfortable in it, but just try it out, because sometimes it's all you need is just a push in the right direction. Another thing I love to do if I'm in a makeup rut is to swatch my favorite shimmer shades. Again, going into that eyeshadow palette drawer is my favorite thing to do, whether I'm in a makeup rut or not. But if I open up that makeup drawer that's got all my eyeshadow palettes in it and I'm flipping through, I'm looking at the shimmer shades, okay? If you say you're looking at the matte shades when you open up the palettes, I know you're kidding, because I always look at the shimmer shades, and I feel like most of us do. So open up a couple of palettes, open up all of your palettes if you want to, and just swatch. Just swatch all down your arm, all over your hands. I bet it will lead to you putting it on your eyelids. That's what usually happens to me. But swatching your shimmer shades and just enjoying your palettes can sometimes be exactly what you need. Just remind you how many pretty shades you already have in your palette. You could do this with any category. If eyeshadow is not your thing, do this with lipsticks or highlights or blushes. Just swatch. Sometimes it's really all you need. For some inspiration, I'll link a couple of my swatch videos below. I've got a video where I swatched all of my periwinkle eyeshadow shades. I've also got a video where I swatched all of my lip products. They're a little bit older, but I'll link them for you anyways, because sometimes swatching is just the content that I want to watch. My last tip is to just swatch crazily all over your face, all over your eyes, however you want to do it, right before you go to shower. So if you're going to wash your face or you're going to shower anyways, what's the harm? Just go ahead and swatch stuff. Sometimes I will pick up an eyeshadow and I'll swatch them all over my cheeks just because I want to swatch them. I want to see them on my skin. I'll do a crazy purple and blue eye look over here and then an orange and green one over here just to see it. You're going to wash your face, so what's it matter? But it might pull you out of that makeup rut. The next day when you wake up after having done that, you might think, oh, I actually really liked that green shade I swatched yesterday all over the lids. I've never actually worn that one. Let me try it out. Sometimes just letting yourself be creative without any errors or consequences, really. I use that loosely because you're not going to wear it out of the house. But sometimes just letting yourself be creative without having to think about where you have to go or that you want to wear it out, or someone might see you in that, or you might not like it. You might not be excited about the result of it. Sometimes that's what's holding us back. So letting go of that and just being creative might be what you need. So those are 11 tips that I have to get you guys out of a makeup rut. Let me know down below if you guys have any more tips or tricks that have helped you get out of a makeup rut before. I would love to hear them. I'm going to reference this video later on when I'm in a makeup rut, because it's inevitable I will be in one again. I hope you guys find yourself crawling out of your makeup rut very soon here. If you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel. I would really love that. Also be sure to hit the post notification bell if you want to be notified every single time that I upload. I am currently working towards a Vlogmas, so in the month of December we will have a video on my channel every single day. Be sure to stick around for that. You don't want to miss it, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.